Have you ever wished your service could bring freedom and six-figure income without having to work tons of hours? I personally made the switch using a 6-month system that's now helped over 900 founders earn more while working less. So in this video, I'm going to show you the system to productize your service, systemize delivery, and add profit-boosting offers without launching a course or risking burnout. Now, most people jump straight into systems and sales, but the first move is what makes everything else actually work, and most get it wrong. But first, I need to show you the why behind our approach here at Alt Agency. We don't help you scale by stacking more clients or by hiring a big team. Instead, we structure your business around 3 types of buyers: clients, members, and customers, so that you can deliver high-touch work to a handful of clients and then use more leveraged offers for everyone else. That's how you actually stabilize your client offer income between 25 to 50K a month without a ton of chaos. And then you scale profit without adding overhead by adding the more scalable offers to your members and your customers. Now, let's break down how we do it month by month. Month 1, let me show you what this looked like for our client, Lindsay. Before she ever systemized or scaled, she had to make one tough decision: to stop being everything to everyone. For 15 years, Lindsay built all kinds of pitch decks and presentations for celebrities and big brands. But every client pulled her in like a team member. She was stuck in the weeds, working long hours and saying yes to projects that honestly she didn't even like, that took her outside of her wheelhouse. Now, once Lindsay got clear on who she really wanted to serve, other agency owners, and what problems she solved best, helping them win more clients with killer capability decks, everything really started to change. That clarity became the foundation for a productized offer, which is a set package that she could sell over and over instead of reinventing the wheel each time. So if you've been offering too much to too many, check out the free Positioning Sherpa GPT that I just created for you in the description below. Because month 1 is all about simplifying and specializing and productizing your core offering. Here's how. Step 1, we want to pick your best fit client. What do I mean by that? Who do you already get results for? Lindsay looked at her general experience, which was design, her unique experience, which was big brands, her passion helping other agencies, and her specialized skills, capabilities decks, and pitch decks. And she combined those, and she found that she worked best and really wanted to serve other entrepreneurs that are looking to grow. So step 2 is to define the result. So for most people, the result is either more revenue, less stress, or faster results. Now for Lindsay, that meant more revenue, less stress, faster results. And step 3 is we want to plug it into a framework. So plug in to a framework. What I mean by that? So once we have our outcome, we want to plug it into the framework, which is simply, I help my ideal client profile or my avatar achieve a specific result. For Lindsay, it was, I help agencies win more clients by creating value-led capabilities decks. Once Lindsay had a clear, dialed-in offer, the next step was figuring out how to deliver it without falling back into the chaotic client work. Which brings me to month 2. Even with her new crystal clear offer, Lindsay's biggest fear was ending up right back where she started, exhausted, overwhelmed, and drowning in endless client requests. Her old way, which was every project was a snowflake, totally custom, endless back and forth with 0 boundaries, is what she had. So we helped her flip the script. Instead of reinventing the wheel for every client, she built a simple 3-phase system. Suddenly, every project ran like clockwork, faster, smoother, and way more predictable. No more Slack pings at midnight, no more chaos. So what's month 2 really all about? Turning your service into a repeatable system that saves your sanity and boosts your value. Think of it like building a recipe. Once you have it, you can serve up the results again and again and again. No chaos required. Here's what Lindsay's looked like. In month 2, she basically distilled all this down into what she calls the Capabilities Deck Recraft, a fast, streamlined, asynchronous process to create a beautifully designed, value-led capabilities deck that makes your agency an obvious yes, so you can win more clients. She moves you through those 3 phases: organize, optimize, and design. And then as you can see, there's 2 steps in each phase. And when she showed her clients this, she can they could see exactly where they were in her process and what they were going to get. So here's how you're going to do it. We're going to create your MVP offer by following these steps. I want you to write down every step you take to get your clients results. I recommend you putting them on a bunch of different sticky notes, like the activities, the tools you have to use, the steps you take, the milestones, the outcomes. Get it all out of your brain and onto a bunch of sticky notes, all right? Then I want you to group those sticky notes into 3 distinct logical phases. So kind of bucket them into 3 different, like buckets, if you will. And then for each phase, distill this down to 3 specific actions that you're going to take inside of each of those phases. So this is where we really cut some of the fat. We maybe bubble some things up to a larger step, but we want it to be clear and concise and just 3 main actions, 3 main steps for each individual phase of our process. Now, a bonus is to give your system a catchy name like the Capabilities Deck Recraft. Now, people remember frameworks that sound legit, and when you display this visual with a strong name, that's exactly what you're going to sound like. Now, with your offer and delivery dialed in, the next challenge is, how do I get clients to buy this before I build the whole thing out? And that's where Lindsay's minimum viable product launch comes in. So in months 3 and 4, once her offer and delivery were tight, Lindsay didn't spend months building a funnel. She ran a lean pre-sale process. We helped her pitch a small group of agency owners before everything was perfect. A handful of people said yes. She brought in cash, validated her offer, and gained some momentum. That confidence allowed her to start phasing out some of those legacy clients and stop saying yes to some of those needy, high-maintenance ones who used to treat her like an in-house designer. Now, that's the power of a minimum viable offer. Month 3 and 4 are all about pre-selling the smart way, so you don't waste time building something that no one wants. So step 1 is to write out your offer into a simple Google Doc. And I like to break it into 3 different parts. 1 being the promise, then the plan that you're going to move them through, and really the projects that you're going to execute on. So Lindsay's example that I showed you earlier was a perfect fit on that. Now, step 2 is where we want to reach out to everyone that fits your ICP. This means your existing pipeline inside your CRM. This is looking at your phone and looking at all the contacts that you probably have from all those networking events to identify people that might be a good fit for this. This is looking at past clients that maybe didn't close because you were too expensive, or even clients that you did work with and maybe now need the new offer that you just created. So I want you to reach out to everyone that fits that ICP that either couldn't afford it, your contact list, your email list. And I want you to even email your email list if you have one, and or gather your contacts that you want to announce this to and send out an invitation to these folks. So step 3 is to actually now go invite all of these people. Invite a small group of them to go through this process, go through this new offer as a special pilot member. And you can even give them a discounted rate in exchange for feedback and a testimonial. You're going to deliver that in step 4 as live as possible, right? So here we are in step 4. This is like, hey, I'm going to take these people through. Lindsay basically took on a handful of people and she worked each of them through her Capabilities Deck Recraft process to come out with their deck, gather testimonials, and learn taking them through this process, what was working, what wasn't. And like I said, that last piece is collecting feedback. What did they like? What did they not like? This is starting to understand where all of those gaps were. This is where you're getting paid, I like to call it paid research and development, to also identify where things are clunky or could have potentially been improved. So now Lindsay had proof of demand and some paying clients that went through this process, but she needed a way to bring in leads consistently without spending all day marketing. So this brings me to month 5. Lindsay didn't want to be everywhere online or become an influencer. So we kept it as simple as possible. I recommend you do too. So 1 buyer, 1 offer, 1 marketing channel. Lindsay focused on LinkedIn. Just good content, starting real conversations, sometimes going to the DMs, a few helpful posts, using her content compass, which I'll talk about in a second, and a simple plan for what to share each week. We kept it simple. 1 buyer, 1 offer, 1 marketing channel. Lindsay focused on creating content on LinkedIn, having real conversations, sometimes in the DMs, and really creating helpful posts using what we call the content compass, which is just a simple plan for what to share each week and a short email sequence to build trust with the people coming into her audience. Only after her organic strategy worked did she add paid ads using a simple lead magnet and a free resource to attract more of the right people. That's an accelerant. So this brought her a steady stream of ideal prospects without chasing or cold emailing. And soon she was consistently hitting 25K a month selling her capabilities deck Recraft. So month 5 is all about keeping marketing and sales light, but consistent. So here's what to set up. First, I want you to pick your core platform. Lindsay chose LinkedIn. I want you to share helpful posts, reply to comments, and connect with others in your niche. So share content using what we call the content compass, which is simply a framework that helps you create content that builds connection, demonstrates your expertise, demonstrates proof, and also invites people to action. These posts that she was creating each and every week would either bring someone to opt into her lead magnet or start a conversation in the DMs, all of which led to them being on her email list. From there, anyone that was interested, she would end up having conversations with following our consultation engine, which is simply a discovery call that's 15 to 20 minutes into a consultation that is about 45 minutes to take them through your new offer. Once your organic strategy works, it's then the time to run simple paid advertising to accelerate your audience growth, bring more people into your world, and then shift into longer form content, which Lindsay just launched her YouTube channel, and she's already attracting prospects every single week, booking calls to get the capabilities Recraft. Now, by now, Lindsay had a system bringing in dream clients like clockwork, but with growth comes temptations, the kind that will derail your progress pretty fast. So here's how she handled month 6. With about 25K a month rolling in for her capabilities Recraft every single month, Lindsay hit a new kind of challenge. Tempted by big custom projects, she took on a few and got pulled off course. She then told me later, it slowed me down. I'm not going to do it again. But this time, she actually had structure. We had tightened her systems. She's now raising her prices. So what started off as $2,500 has been $5,000, and now they're going up again. With AI and 1 to 2 part-time team members, she's mostly out of delivery of that Productize service, which means she has new capacity. So she's following the alt agency model and launching into a more scalable offer for members. This is a done with you program where she's going to guide agency owners step by step instead of doing all of the work herself. Now, she's actually launched with a similar plan. She did a pilot of this program to a small group at $750, and now she's bringing it public with the Capabilities Deck Lab. She's not just a creative anymore. She's a business owner who designs, not a designer buried in client chaos. So month 6 is all about optimizing your profit and your freedom without building a huge team. Here are the 4 steps on how you're going to do that. So the first step is that you want to really optimize your delivery system. So for Lindsay, she was able to integrate AI, and she has a small team, 1 to 2 part-time people that have fundamentally removed her out of most of the done-for-you delivery of that Productize service. These people, with whether it's systems like AI or part-time help, they should take more off your plate, right? Especially as the client volume is growing. The next thing I want you to do is upgrade your lead generation. So I want you to upgrade your lead generation, meaning I want you to make sure that your pipeline is full, but not overwhelming. So as Lindsay dials in this system, just like you would make sure that your pipeline is always full, but not in an overwhelming way. Now, the third step is to refine your sales process. Now, refining your sales process means building systems so that you're not the bottleneck, right? This could be following what we call the consultation engine, setting up a 2-call process with a very distinct call framework for each call. And lastly, then and only then do you actually introduce more leveraged offers like a done with you program. And I always recommend doing a done with you program before a DIY program. And a done with you program is just a way to serve more people at once without more hours, right? It's that one-to-many offer that many of us are striving to get. That's how we've been able to help clients like Lindsay productize their service and hit 25 to 50K a month consistently without burning out to set up another 500,000 monetizing with more leveraged offers. So if you want the deep dive on how I scaled to 100K a month step by step, then go check out this next video. I'm going to walk you through all 10 steps.